Hello and welcome to Q&A with Qlik. Today's session, we're going to be talking about Stitch migration to Qlik Talend Cloud. Just to introduce myself, my name's Troy Rainey. I help put together videos and webinars like this one. We've got an excellent expert panel for you today. Just go around and let everyone quickly introduce themselves. Adam, why don't we start with you?
Alphabetically. Thanks, Troy. Hi, Troy, and everyone. Thanks for joining. So I am in our product marketing team here at Qlik. So that means I'm kind of responsible for the messaging and some of the collateral out there. But really, we're here to help you get the most out of our systems. And I also work very closely with the product management team. So honored to be here on the call with them as well. And you.
Thanks. Eugene?
Thank you, Troy. My name is Eugene Chair. I'm a member of the product management team focusing on data integrations and data movement. So I handle a lot of the product management duties surrounding both Stitch and the data movement aspect of Qlik Talend Cloud as well.
Fantastic. And Ula?
Hi, thanks, Troy. My name is Ola Meyer. I'm a head of cloud data movement. I'm working very closely with Eugene and Adam on everything that has to do with data connectivity and movement into Qlik, into and out of Qlik Talend Cloud.
Fantastic. Well, when you registered, you had an opportunity to submit some questions at a time. So we're going to start with those. But if you have any questions, please enter them in the Q&A tool. First question, is this migration going to affect existing Stitch integrations and price model?
Yeah, great question, Troy. For the most part, not directly. I would say it's indirectly going to affect it just because they're completely separate platforms. But at the end of the day, if you're still moving data from the same SaaS sources have certain limitations on concurrency and API rate limits. But it's not like directly affecting it where you have to stop your Stitch pipelines to do the migration. We all obviously recommend it during the migration center that we went over during the last session, but they're not directly related because they're completely separate platforms.
Yeah, just bringing up that last session, we had a Techspert talk recently, and I even preloaded it. Here it is, where Eugene walks through the entire process, highlighting all the tools available in the Migration Center and the toolkit there. So you can actually see everything that's involved with migrating that process from Stitch integrations to Qlik Talend Cloud and how that works. So, and we've got chapters breaking down all the parts. We address some questions in that, and we have links to several resources to help you along that journey. So I'll just send you this link here. And next question. How is memory planned to be used in Qlik Cloud? Streaming, something like that? That was a tricky question because, yeah, it didn't have a lot of detail.
Let me try a little bit to, in general, memory in Qlik Cloud is a shared resource. So we don't really specifically have controls over the memory allocation. Where we do have a control is when data is moving from SaaS-based connectors to their destinations. In this case, you can pretty much say an internal server is allocated to that specific task, and it's 100% allocated for that tenant during the execution of that data movement task.
There you go. That was great. And if you have any more details you'd like for us to elaborate, please send us a follow-up question so we can address it better. Next question. How will data integrations be built in Qlik Talend Cloud?
I can take one. I can take that one, Troy. I think there's a couple aspects to the answer to this question. Qlik Talend Cloud has a lot more kind of customizations in terms of allowing the customer to choose how they build their data pipelines. I think in the migration session we focused on the simplest and the closest available to the Stitch functionality, which is data replication. That is defining a source, defining a target, and then defining a schedule, and it would all be schedule based. Of course, there's different features available if you want to land data and transform it within Qlik Talend Cloud. That would be called data pipelines. You can find more information on that on the help page as well if you want to do more gritty, for the lack of a better word, transformations on it, and go deeper into the data and do changes to the data as it's moved.
Mhm.
As well. So it really depends on what the customer wants to achieve. I think if you're looking for simple moving data from source where everything is managed directly by the app, I would say the application that we covered in the migration center, and of course in the Textbook Talk webinar that Troy hinted at a little bit while ago, would be the best way and how to build a pipeline.
Yeah, and this is what I'm showing on screen here is our help documentation page on help.qlik.com. I'll just put the link in here. The link is anchored to the pipelines, but it's a wonderful resource to everything there is to know about the product and how to use it, and should definitely check that out. Next question. Will it be possible to send notification emails of errors or failures immediately? And I think they mean immediately when they occur.
Yeah, absolutely. So Qlik Talend Cloud does offer kind of customizable notifications options, whether you want to receive it in an email or through an alert in the browser. It's all available in Qlik Help, and we have a specific page in the Migration Center under Administering or Tenant. Walk you through both setting that up and walking through what are the different options of alerting. And also it goes through the different events that it alerts on when an error happens or when a table is stopped. And it's almost always instantaneous.
Great. Next question. We will need to make a data type change on a column with billions of records in Postgres. How will Qlik Cloud handle that? Would Qlik Cloud be better at that than Stitch? Kind of a
Yeah,
specific
Stitch.
question, but
Yeah, and I'd be glad to take it. Stitch did not have a great feature set to allow discrete changes to the data set as they moved. It was more built around the concept of getting the data to the target and allowing the customers to kind of transform it there. In Qlik Talend Cloud, there's two options. There's the option of building a data pipeline, not a replication project, where you would define transformation processes after landing in storage tasks. You can find more details on that throughout the Qlik Cloud platform. But there's also an additional feature set on a data replication task to set up a transformation rule. I can show you real quick how it would look like in the product. But basically, you would create a rule to find a data set within a task. I'm going to share my screen, so it's going to be easier to follow through with it.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. So if you go into, we're in Qlik Talend Cloud platform underneath the data integration. I have a preset integration set up here. If you go under the design tab, there's a transformation rule option that's here where you could set up a transformation rule that would take place automatically as the data gets loaded into your destination. And underneath it, you would define what you want to do with the data set. So in here, you could say convert data type and hit next. And then you would define a pattern of how to find data to be converted, to convert it to it. And then you would define a transformation action. So you would move it from one data type to another. And then you would hit finish and it would happen automatically on this task. So it's specific to a task. If you need more kind of higher level data modeling and transformations, I would urge customers to kind of look deeper into the data pipeline option instead of a data application. But this is available in the data application in case you want to do it inherently within the application task.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, let's just jump back here. A next question. In Qlik Talend Cloud, the capacity license model differentiates between data movement and third-party data transformation. what is meant by third-party data transformation, and when does something count as third-party data transformation?
Let me take this one. We realize that our customers are potentially want to the data sources coming from multiple sources and potentially using different data movement tools. For example, even for customers that want to continue using Stitch in order to move data to their data warehouse before they are ready to completely transition into Qlik Talend Cloud. So what we consider for the third-party data transformations is data that is loaded to the destination, let's say to the Snowflake, by a third-party tool like Stage, potentially Fivetran, Terabyte, any type of other solution. And then if we want to integrate this data with the rest of the Qlik pipelines, this is how we kind of enable this integration between data that is delivered by Qlik platform versus data that is delivered by third party.
Great. Thank you very much. All right, next question. Is Qlik Cloud compatible to load data from Pendo?
Did we
Yeah,
already
I could take it.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, Pendo is one of the sources that we're currently in the process of adding to Qlik Talend Cloud as part of moving the various data sources that are available in Stitch. So it will be live in the product in the next couple of months. But yes, it will be compatible to load data from Pendo into Qlik Talend Cloud.
And I guess I have kind of a follow-up question to that. Where is a good resource for people to find the list of supported connectors that are available, all those supported sources?
So yeah, there's a few resources to talk about. If you want to find everything that's available within the Qlik Cloud platform, I think you would go to the Connector Factory, which is a web page defined to help you kind of find all of the data sources that are supported throughout the platform as a whole. If you want to take specifically a closer look into Qlik Talend Cloud data integration, you can go to Qlik Help or the Migration Center. They both have links to the full set of data sources that are available there. And we are obviously going to keep updating them as we add more.
All right. I brought up the Migration Center here. And this is, again, a great resource walking you through what's necessary to migrate. I'll put a link to that as well. Fantastic. All right. Next question. Can Qlik Talend Cloud handle incremental loads from Zoura into Snowflake? Are there any specific settings to be aware of?
Yeah, so Qlik Talend Cloud does support migrating incremental data from Zoura to Snowflake. Snowflake is a target that's supported in Qlik Talend Cloud. I would say for the data sets in Zoura, these settings to be aware of is whether the table or the data sets that you want to replicate is available through their REST API or the Aqua API. Their Aqua API has a higher kind of support or faster. So certain data sets will have like better load limits and will kind of, be able to be replicated faster overall if it's in the Aqua API. But generally speaking, we try to keep that away from our users' eyes because we try to normalize it and simplify it as much as possible in the product.
Great, thanks. Next question. Is Stitch integration still functioning, or is migration now required to Qlik Talend Cloud?
You want me to take that first of all, and then if there's any kind of techie backup, I can hand that over. But yeah, absolutely, this is a really great question. This is sort of also speaking to the why are we talking about this today. So absolutely, Stitch is still functioning. What we're talking about here is what we have available in Qlik Talend Cloud, which is kind of like our flagship data integration tool. So it's more than just data ingestion. So I like to think about this as like, if you think about what you can do, all the great things you can do in Stitch today is really focused around the data movement side of things. And what we're actually able to do now, Stitch is part of the Qlik family, is you think of it like an expansion to a degree. If you think of like, you go to Stitch today, if it was a shop just to do your data movement, out in Qlik Talend Cloud, you've got so much more than just data integration. As Li Jing's sort of been touching on, Li Jing and I have been touching on in this discussion. So it's like sort of going from your data integration shop to, now you've got access to kind of like a big shopping mall, to draw on that analogy a bit more. So you can do data transformation pipelines, as Li Jing sort of hinted a while ago. You get access to a whole load of other functionality in there as well, including analytics. So that's why we want to start talking about it today. If folks are kind of interested, it can certainly help them add a lot more value into their workflows, what they're doing today. And the first part is making sure that we are building the right connectivity and taking kind of the best of Stitch technology and also putting that into the Qlik Talend Cloud environment as well.
Great. One question I don't want to let get past. What are the main benefits of Qlik Talend Cloud versus Stitch? And you kind of touched on that, but you can address it directly.
Yeah, so I think Adam hit it spot on with his answer, because it's basically Stitch was mainly focused on moving data. I think Qlik Talend Cloud is a platform where we have so much more than just moving data. We have transformation capabilities, we have real-time change data capture capabilities. We have a lot more built in, like have data products, automations, and that's just talking within data integration. We're not going to start talking about analytics because obviously I'm not equipped to talk about that. But there's so much more to cover. I think in the Migration Center, we focused mostly on the replication aspect. And there are a lot of tidbits there on just from a pure replication perspective, the differences there and why Qlik Talend Cloud can offer a different feature set. I think the transformation rule that was brought up in a different question is one of them, where Qlik Talend Cloud has transformation feature sets that are kind of simple to use within the replication project, where Stitch did not. So to summarize it, that would be, if I had to pick a few, that I would choose that one.
And the only thing I would add, great roundup there, Li Jing, is in the Migration Center that you mentioned. We do have a table to kind of sort of compare it. And one of the things that's quite interesting is if you go at the kind of the very basic startup package in Qlik Talend Cloud, it's available in various editions. You get more features and functionality and capabilities in the higher editions. But just if we look at kind of apples for apples there, it's the equivalent of going from a premium plan in Stitch into Qlik Talend Cloud, and you still get more in Qlik Talend Cloud, which is great.
Yeah, I think I got the right page here. Technical.
That's the one. Yeah, and there's a table up above as well. But there's lots of information in there to help folks, kind of make the right decision and understand what you can do.
Oh, it's great product. Great. All right. Next question. Can you help us understand how to use the Qlik Talend Cloud migration toolkit? That was something that you demoed in the Techspert talk, but do you want to address that, Eugene?
Absolutely. Yeah. So the main part of the migration toolkit is to be able to get you the inventory of all of your Stitch integrations into one clean page, so you can read like what sources you have defined with what destination or targets identified. You would only need to generate an API key in your Stitch platform underneath your profile settings. We walk through it in the Techspert talk that Troy is bringing up. You simply download it, you create an account. You would hop in and insert your API key for your account, and it would just list out all of the integrations that are available to you. the main benefit of that list or inventory list is to get you a simple page with all of the information of your integrations and which target or destination they're using. So it's easier to replicate those or recreate those data pipelines or data application tasks in Qlik Talend Cloud. Hopefully, over time, we'll keep improving it um, in the future. But the main use case of it is to generate an API key from your Stitch platform, generate your inventory, and then use that inventory tool to kind of tell you the host name or some of the usernames they use for some of your SaaS sources, whether you have SSH configured or SSL used on your database sources, things like that. General settings that would take several clicks in Stitch, kind of list them out, especially when you have tens or dozens or multiple different integrations set up.
Yeah, and again, we demonstrated that in the text for talk, so I definitely recommend checking out that video. Next question. Which solution would you recommend for simple batch file replication from S3 to Snowflake? We're considering leveraging Snowflake S3 direct copy with orchestration via Talend Studio. Is there a simpler option now available with Stitch, Qlik Talend Cloud integration?
One of the additions that we made from Stitch to Qlik Talend Cloud was the addition of Amazon S3 file support as a data source. Now, there's a caveat there. It's focused on replicating files that are CSV and JSON. It's on our roadmap to expand that to cover different data, even more data sources outside of S3. So right now, if it's a CSV file or a JSON file, I would say using the data source in Qlik Talend Cloud would be a great simple option because you'd only need to connect. Then it would go and through a pattern find all of the files that you can then translate them into tables that are replicated to your target of choice, and you can use them with both a replication project or a data piping project. If you're looking for more data types, like Berkeley, for example, we will have more information to share because it's a roadmap item that we plan to cover later on.
Great.
Yeah, just to add to that, I would say, all of those solutions that were mentioned in that question alone, in terms of which direction do you want to go, even if it's the keyword mentioned in batch there, if you do decide to go down the Qlik the Talend Studio route, just know that the name kind of gives a hint. With what we're doing with Qlik Talend Cloud, the grand kind of vision is that all the solutions will or equivalent of be available in Qlik Talend Cloud as well. So it's whatever investment you make today with an existing product can kind of move over to the Qlik Talend Cloud side of things when you're ready. So this isn't something we're forcing you to do, but just know there are kind of options. So if you do land on Studio being the right choice, that's fine, and all the investments that you made will be future proofed, if you like. But likewise, like Lee Jean was saying, if the criteria kind of fits with what's available in Qlik Talend Cloud today, then that's great, and it might fit your needs for the future as well. So you're kind of future proofing the direction that you're going in.
I like that concept, future proofing it, because there's huge bag of tricks with Qlik Talend Cloud, and all the other products kind of satisfy certain use cases, but then there's a big package waiting for you in the cloud.
Yeah, exactly. And you choose what you want to use, basically. That's why we're excited about it. That's why we're using taking every available opportunity to talk about it. It's a bit like CrossFit, right? And two people that do CrossFit, those that have just started, and those that will take any availability to talk about it. So Qlik Talend Cloud, a bit like that. We love talking about it.
All right, these are great questions. Keep them coming. Next question. Is Qlik Talend Cloud compatible with Mongo DB, specifically version 8?
I can answer this question. So now MongoDB is not supported by Qlik Talend Cloud, but it is on our roadmap for this year. And once it's going to be released, it will be compatible with 8.
Great. So that's on the roadmap for this year, even. That's exciting to know. Thank you. Okay. Next question. And it's the last question I have. already ready, so please submit your questions if you have any. Does the HubSpot connector, will that be migrated from Stitch to Qlik Talend Cloud?
Yes, the short answer is yes. It's one of the connectors that we're currently working through. So it's on our roadmap.
Fantastic. And if there are no further questions, I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. And thank you so much to our expert panel for being here to address your questions. And hope you all have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.